My foot is so numb, bro.
All right, give me a second.
My
Make sure
shirt.
you're good. Tupac. All right. For the real interview, I'm gonna need you to look a little bit
Of
more
course, bro. I promise.
conservative. All right, we are live, and this is exactly how it will go. Um, 1 second. All right, so we are here with the widow of Jason David Frank. This is Tammie Frank. And how have you been dealing with all this after the passing of your husband?
Um, not good, obviously. It's been a real struggle. I still have bags in my eyes, but it's really crazy. I feel like it's not true, but I know like it's hard for me to understand that he's really not coming home. It's just in my head. It's just not really good, really sad, and I've been depressed and stuff.
Okay. And how have you been coping with that?
Drinking. I have been drinking. I never was a heavy drinker. Even Jenna has never saw me drink. Well, when she was little, me and Jason would drink, but he was sober for like 10 years. And I didn't drink either. So, well, that I know of, okay, that I was never aware of anything like that. But so I started drinking this summer, like in August, because I was really, depressed and want to get him off my mind, basically, because he was not contacting me. And so I started going out with my girlfriend to like not bars. I shouldn't say that. It sounds bad, but not, we went out with her. We didn't go to bars that many, but 3 times. But we'd go to her house, her garage, and just drink and just,
Hang
talk. Yeah, hang out because she's my best friend.
Okay.
So yeah, but this past 2 months, well, 10 weeks, I've been drinking every night, which is I know it's crazy. And I can't get like that, and I won't. I'll get it. I'll get a grip some way, somehow.
Okay. So let's just take it to back to the beginning. Did you ever watch Power Rangers prior to meeting your husband?
No, I'm the same age. He always said he had a older wife. I'm 3 months older, so no,
3 months
I
older.
did not. No.
Okay. And where did you and Jason first meet?
We met at City Streets. It was like a tri-level bar. There's country in the bottom, huge. Then there was like hip hop, and there's some other dance. Maybe I don't know if it's house or something, but I would go to hip hop. I like to dance.
Oh, you like to dance.
I
Oh,
love to dance. Yes.
all right.
So when I walked down with my girlfriend, it was funny because he came up to me. I was walking down. He looked at me. Him and Todd, actually, weird. And
Ty Carroll.
Todd Carroll. And they were there together. And he goes, he tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, smile. I was like, okay, hi. I went downstairs. Okay, hey. But I did really. And then I started dancing. He came up to me on the dance floor and he goes, I like the way you dance. I said, okay, thanks. And so I went back to my girlfriend's where we had a little party for her. He came up to me the third time. I'm like, dude. He started talking and he was cute. I'm like, okay. And he said, I'm an actor from LA. I'm like, oh my God. I can't waste my time on you. But so interesting. We had a really good time and you know, we
Was it was it love at first sight?
not love at first sight, but when I started talking to him, I was like, "Oh my god," we just started connecting and kiss and stuff. But I did not go home. I made him go back. I went home, and he even called me later on. He goes, "Can we go get some pancakes?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to sleep because I'm not."
Okay. And
Yeah,
you
it
said
was
you were with Todd Carroll. Is that the brother of Shauna Carroll?
yes.
So were him and his wife, first wife, still together at that time?
Uh, who? Jason and
Shauna, yes.
yeah, they were still together.
Okay. And did he tell you that they were together?
Let me tell you, because I know
Okay.
people are like saying, "Oh, well, let me tell you." So I had a Shayla. She was on like damn, she was like 3 then. And I was telling him I got a daughter. He goes, "So do I. I have one kid, and I'm going through a divorce." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm separated. I'm going through a divorce. Okay, that's cool." And so we talked for a couple months, and he came back down and took me skydiving. Well, not after that, even the second time I saw him, he left again. We were talking on the phone a lot, and he goes, I have something to tell you. You're gonna hate me. You're probably never gonna talk to me again. He's like, I actually have 2 kids, and Shauna's pregnant, and I don't think that baby's mine. So, we're going through a divorce. So I'm like, what? It was a big
Oh,
shocker. I don't know if I should say
oh.
that, but
And who was that baby that he was pregnant with at the time?
Sky.
Okay.
He, but Shawnee was.
And so you said he was there with Todd. Was he close with Todd?
Yes, that was his best friend.
His best friend.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did we know Todd self transition? How did he take that?
Really bad. So Jason would call me, periodically, maybe like 3 months or 6 months, and we'd talk, and I wouldn't hear from him like a couple months. And so when he called me, he's like, "I've been looking for your number." And actually, my girlfriend, he called my old business where I used to work at, and she goes, "Tammie's here." So he called me, and that's why he always says, "It's Tammie, it's Tammie," because I would say, "Hello, it's Tammie," and he'd make fun of me with that. Anyway, so he told me, Todd just killed himself. He hung himself, and everyone's blaming Jason because Jason fired him from the school. So he was really distraught. Him and Shauna were getting separated. And I felt really bad for him. And so then, like, when I started talking to him again, his brother had, killed himself. He hung himself, and Jason it was really, really bad. But I,
Whoa, whoa. So Todd hung himself after he got fired.
well, not after, but Jason and him wasn't talking for maybe, I don't know, 6 months, I think, because
Okay.
there was issues, and that's why he felt so bad, because he wasn't talking to him and stuff. But that wasn't a reason why, obviously, because he gets fired.
Right. Okay. So Todd hangs himself. And then how long before Eric hangs himself?
Like a month. I'm thinking like 4 weeks. I don't know
So
the exact date, but like a month.
4 weeks later, Eric hangs himself. And
Yeah.
how did he take Eric's passing?
He took it really bad. He called me, and I'd planned on going up there. He wanted me to come up. He was gonna give me a plane ticket, and we were talking before Eric.
Uh-huh.
And he said, he called me one night. It was in the middle of the night. He's crying, like he left me a voice message, and he was like distraught. I mean, I couldn't understand him. I could not understand him. So I was so worried that next morning I couldn't get a hold of him. He didn't call me back till like 5 that afternoon, that evening, and he was like, my brother, he hung himself. So he was so really shaken. He was so heartbroken. It was so sad. It was really sad. Um, so he had, because him and his brother was not talking for a couple weeks, and they were supposed to meet up for lunch. Eric had talked to him, like he called him like 2 weeks before he did that, and he said, "Come meet me for lunch." And Jason said, "Okay," but that never happened, and Jason was just like, man, like both my brother and basically my other brother and my best friend, like did that. And it really, really, it was so sad. It really, for years, it devastated him, many years.
And is that after his brother passed, how long before he moved to Texas?
Oh, we were there maybe like almost 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys got married in what year?
2003.
2003. Okay.
Maybe like, yeah, probably 3 years. Because we dated for like 2 years. We got married. We got pregnant with Jenna, which was planned. Very shortly after, and then we moved when Jenna was 9 months old.
Let's piggyback. How did he propose?
Oh my gosh!
Everyone wants a proposal story.
Well,
Everyone should have it.
it's not the best, but we were at this, like restaurant bar, and we had talked about. We were talking about it, and he just got on his knees, like in the bar. He's like, "I love you so much. Please, will you marry me?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" We didn't have a ring or nothing. It was nothing like he didn't plan it. I think he wanted to, and at that moment, he just wanted to ask me. So it was cool. There wasn't nothing planned, like, oh,
Do you remember what bar?
no, I don't remember the what bar. Do you? I'm sure you know.
Okay, okay. So he
I don't think it was really
proposes.
a bar, Henny. It was more like like a bar where you get food and stuff. You have drinks.
Oh, like a Fuddruckers type thing?
No, not Fuddruckers.
Oh,
Like music. I don't remember the bar though.
okay, that's inconsequential. So he proposes and he has three other kids. How was the relationship with you and the three other kids?
Really good. I I love them. Shayla, we're all a big, huge family. I wasn't used to, um, there was, different upbringings. Like Shayla was really like sweet. Not that they were all sweet, but I'm saying like she was more like quiet, reserved. And three like two boys and a little girl, they're rowdy and stuff. So it was cool seeing like seeing like boys and in our relationship. It's cool. And like Sky, I took care of her. She was only 2 years, 2.5 years old when I got with Jason, and she was adorable. And I would take her shopping to Old Navy. Back then, people think, oh, all about money. We are broke, bro. He had a condo and not even paid for. We're making payments, and he had the credit school, but it wasn't nothing. It was nothing like you guys think. We didn't have furniture for the longest time. We had mice in our condo. Like, it was bad. I'm telling you, it was bad. Oh my god. But
Okay, so the relationship was good. When did the relationship get sour, or maybe you start seeing the kids a little less?
Uh, well, she actually see then in the divorce decree, she was supposed to live in close in Valencia, so they can split the kids. And she decides to move just to like where is like Orange? I don't know, some beach. I can't remember the exact name of it. It's far away. It's like,
Laguna Beach.
yeah, Laguna Beach, and that was far in traffic. Oh my god! So she just left, and I think it was like 2.5 hours, but with traffic, it was crazy. LA is like nuts. So she moved, and we would still get Sky every 2 weeks and the kids every other weekend. That went on for a while, but she definitely made it very, very trying.
Okay. And did Jason ever talk about her calling the police on him when he went to go get the kids? Any of that? Any
Yeah,
truth to that?
he did. I don't remember what year, 'cause my memory's so bad, but he did. But he was when he went down to California to see her, get the kids, and she wouldn't let him. I don't remember why exactly, but that was a long time ago, many years ago.
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned that you helped build the karate schools, and the schools wasn't nothing, or nothing as grandiose as probably that they are now. What
Right.
what was your role in the karate schools?
Sure. So
And
my background was like collection managers, like office managers. I did like all that, office stuff. And so when I got with him, he's so sweet. Okay, he was so sweet. See, I'm like, I can collect money from businesses. I'm like, come on, you got to pay this. So I went. This was like a residential business. So it was like he let people. He had some in-house clients that he let go for like they didn't pay for like 6 months, almost a year. He felt bad for them because one guy was going through divorce, and I was like, oh my god. So I had to, yeah, I got all those collections down, but they loved me. That school, everyone loved me back then. So that was my part, doing like the billing and calling people and new students signing up, doing sales and all that, filing and all that.
okay, so when did you like get interested in martial arts? Because I saw on the website you were one of the instructors.
Right. So I did right off the bat, like I did try, karate and stuff, and I actually got my blue belt, but it just wasn't for me. I could never do the katas. There, you have to think a lot, and it's just very. You have to it's just a lot. So he got into boxing with Stan. Was it Stan Ward? I think in Los Angeles. Um, I think it's Stan Ward, and so he got really into boxing. So that like I loved boxing. So me and him, he taught me all about boxing. I didn't get into Muay Thai many years after we moved to Texas.
Okay. Okay. And how was the Muay Thai training? I think I saw a video of you guys in Thailand or something.
Yeah, he actually got he trained with Master Toddy like many years ago in Las Vegas, and he got ranked over him, and so I got really into it. So he taught me everything I knew. I mean, like this man is the best instructor. He's still like when I watch him, I'm just like still in awe. Like it, even to this day, I'm like, he's amazing, like crazy. And so he taught me everything I know. Like I would fight men at the schools, like they didn't. I'm like, I'm not. Don't treat me like a girl. Like really, I need to learn to fight. Like come on. And so we'd have sparring days for like everybody every 3 days a week. We'd spar for like 3 4 hours, sweaty. It was really cool. And so then I went to Thailand. So he wanted people to think like for sure he didn't get I didn't get my black sass from him, my husband, even though he taught me everything. And it was really cool because even though he did that, he didn't want to be selfish. He wanted me to get like Master Toddy be under his, like, you know? So that
Okay.
was really cool of him.
How was that first fight? How intense was it for you?
It was very intense because you're supposed to when you get your black sash, that was one thing in Muay Thai in Thailand, you have to fight. So they've been telling me the whole time, like, you're gonna have to fight. Okay, we have a girl. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. And so the day we were actually after the fight, we're going on a plane to Texas. So long flight. So they said the girl, she didn't show up. She's canceled. I'm like, what? So I was kind of like, thank God, thank God. It's scary going to Thailand. They're all speaking Thai and they're all betting money and stuff, and it's scary. That's what they do for a living. They fight. That's what they do. So at the last minute, I'm sitting there, and Master Toy says, "We got a girl. We got a girl." So he wouldn't tell me who the girl was, what she looked like until, like, come on, Tanny, you're going backstage, you get backstage, you're getting your hand wraps, and Jason's there. He's like, "Come on, babe." He's pumping me up, doing my hand wraps. He was so nervous, but it was cool. Like, it just went. As soon as I walked out there, it kind of went like I need to do my thing. It was really cool. He was my corner man. He was all nervous, like, I don't want. When he fought, I was so nervous. Ugh, I hated it.
And at that time, you had Jenna already, right? Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And did Jenna eventually just naturally get into martial arts because of you and her father?
Well, probably because her father, it was in her blood. Even though right now she's like, it's not my thing, but she was so good. Oh my God, I have so many videos and pictures. She was ever since she was like 2. This little baby, I'm telling you, when I was pregnant with her in California, I had slept on the mats because we had ninja nights. I'd be a big pregnant, 9 months old, sleep on a cot because I'm scared of mice on the floor. And she was raised in karate. So she was born, she was there at the school, like she was helping us, she would run around. So she started taking class like at 2 years old. She was good. She did Muay Thai, she did grappling, jiu-jitsu. She's pretty badass.
Okay. Speaking
She
of
did her own
fighting,
fights. She would actually have fights for her. She would win. She was good.
okay. Speaking of fighting, Jason, best friend Casey Hobson.
Mhm.
How close was he with Casey?
Uh, they were really close. I mean, they would come over all the time. I'd cook for them. Back then, I would cook for the staff. We had big party, not big parties, but food and stuff. And Casey would come over all the time, and we'd cook and hang out. And Jenna, when he passed away, Jenna, it really affected Jenna big times because he was really close to Jenna too. Me too. Like, it was like our brother, our younger brother. So when that happened, it was like a shock and very sad because he's so young, and that really devastated Jason. It was crazy, really, really sad.
Okay. And he was also brothers with Justin Hobson.
Yeah,
And how close was did Jason become more close with Justin after Casey passed?
he did. He wasn't like he knew Justin a little bit, but for sure, like he became really close to Justin and their dad Mike is so sweet. And he lost both children. He wasn't married, so his boys were his thing. So involved in their lives and stuff, and he got really close. Me and Justin and Jason would hang out. Yeah, he couldn't get past his brother. It was really sad.
Okay, so he lost Todd, he lost his brother, he lost Casey, he lost Justin, and then I think the next person he loses was his mother.
His mother.
And how was he after that? Did he drink after that, or when did the drinking come into play?
On God's honest truth, I didn't ever see him drink ever until once I started talking to him again, he told me he was drinking this for the past 4 months, like wine at night. So I was like, wow, like that's not like him. So I never knew that he drank ever.
Okay, okay, but when you experience that's a lot of loss.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of loss. And then the next loss was Shayla.
Mm.
How was that for the entire family?
Well,
Take your time.
like I really can't even say her name anymore. Just But so so with Shayla, she when she when her boyfriend wasn't, getting a hold of her for, like 12 hours, he texts me that morning and says, I can't get a hold of Shayla. I've been, we lost FaceTime like last night at like 7, but whatever. But so Jason was like, he's about to go on a show and he was about to leave. And I said, babe, Jason has to get a hold of Shayla. I said, since 7. He goes, well, it's only been an hour. I'm like, no, 7 p.m. last night. Right away. I mean, that's not like Shayla. She always answers my phone, texts, and he's right then he went on his bike and went straight to her house. I mean, like got there in like 20 minutes, which is like a 45-minute drive. And he looked around. He even called me. He's like, babe, I think someone kidnapped her. Her car's not here. She's not answering the door. I said, what? That's weird. But little we know her car was inside her garage, but she never does that. But so he went, around the house and he looked in the, looked in the sliding door and he saw Drayden, the mini blinds or the, shutters kind of open. He sees Drayden like in the bouncer and he looks and he sees Shayla like passed out in the kitchen on the floor. And I never heard, he would not contact me. I kept calling, I was stressed out. So I didn't know until him and Jenna came home with me and they came to my bed, because I just had surgery and it was just like, what? Like, yeah. So he was there and, obviously she's been gone for like, maybe 12 hours or 10. So it was really, really horrifying, He gave her CPR, I had to call 911. So it really, yeah, it was really, really, really devastating for all of us.
Okay. And in your People magazine interview, you said that's about the time the marital problem started. Is that correct?
Well, I didn't really know until like honestly until mid July. Honestly, I did not had no idea.
Okay. Um, so mid July, at that point in time, you guys had Drayden up until then, or you still had him in your possession?
Mm. I've had him until December 1st.
Okay. And then that's when you gave him back to the father.
Well, I didn't give him, but yeah, I was forced to.
He was forced to. Okay. And how did losing Drayden impact Jason? Was he still around? Was he not around?
Well, yeah, Jason loves Drayden. I mean, adores him. So good to him. Give him a bath every night, like so sweet. Really loved him. And so when Jason left, July 1st, and I haven't heard from him. He wouldn't contact me and nothing. And so we were unaware of Meekins, wanting custody, because we helped him with the apartment. We were trying to get his life started. So Jason didn't really know until we got served in November that we were going to probably lose him.
Okay. In November, he was back at the family house by then, or was he still in the wind? Or
He like we started talking like mid October, like maybe it was before Shayla's birthday because we always go there on her birthday and not her birthday. I'm sorry, on the anniversary of her passing. So he was actually there with me all day, and we started talking to each other a few days prior to that. So I'm thinking like maybe October 15th. I don't know exact date, but I know it was like days before Shayla's passing. Um, so what I'm saying, but no, so me and him started talking and we started working things out and he, was really changing and was really doing some soul searching and me too. And, he wasn't living here at all. He was still living wherever he was. And, but he would spend the night, secretly with me and stuff. We'd go hotels and he'd stay over here, come eat with me and Jenna and like hang out with us.
okay. Speaking of there, do you guys sleep in the same room?
No, we have not like in many, many, many years.
And why is that?
Because he snores like a freaking train. Oh my gosh. See, we're both light sleepers. And he never snored until he started fighting, because he got bigger and stuff and he started snoring so bad and he would never get help with that, with the sleep apnea stuff and get tested. So we would sleep, we'd like hang out, and he'd go to his room, I'd go to my room. That just, because once I'm woken up, I can never go back to sleep. So he was really like insecure about that. He didn't want to wake me up, so that sucks, It's like, anyway.
And was Tony the person who got you guys to reconcile or start the process?
Yeah, because I reached out to Jason through many sources, every place I can get his texts. I've asked people to contact him through message and Instagram, through phones, through Tony. I was talking to Tony like pretty much all summer, like here and there. And I would tell Tony, like, please just get him to talk to me. I don't want this to happen. I love this man. Like, I don't want, I love him. Not okay, if he don't want to be married to me, that's fine. But like, I've never left a relationship where we hate each other. He's my family above my husband. He's like my family, and like, that's just not me, as a person. And like, finally, Tony did try, like in August, and Jason didn't want to do that. And so finally, me and Tony started talking again. I'm like, I'll give it one more shot, one more shot. And I left Jason a letter. I wrote him a lot of letters this summer, and I'm glad he didn't read some of them, because I was mad, of course, hurt and mad. He just left. But this letter, because he came and got his stuff, and I left a letter in there saying, please, just talk to me, like, come on. And so Tony asked him, he's like, please, please set this up, please. So yeah, Tony like was a go between me and Jason.
Okay. Let's go back to the divorce filing. What made you guys file for divorce, or you filed for divorce?
Right. Well, July, Jason just was done. He's turned his phone off. He didn't even contact Jenna, only through Instagram, like just turn his phone off. He thought it was getting hacked and all this crazy stuff was happening. And I was unaware of this. I thought he was going to be like, he's, take a break or whatever. And like, he would talk to me again. I never think it was going to be drawn on to this long process. And then I found out, he had like, he did, had a little affair, and the girl did send a bunch of us, my daughter and me and his assistants, and posting stuff. So that's when I had my awareness of what had been going on, why Jason probably did leave, because he was so ashamed. He never thought I would forgive him. And so he just left, And so one day I came home and everything was gone. I went to my dad's that weekend, I think, and all his stuff was gone. And I'm like, what? I mean, like, he took everything, not everything, but all his, important stuff. And I was just like so scared. His bikes were gone. He wasn't contacting me. And I heard about the divorce, the girl, and I'm thinking, like, does he love this girl? I'm thinking, what's going on? I'm crushed. And so I filed for divorce. One of my friends said, you need to get a lawyer right now. He's probably moving stuff, going to move stuff out of your name. I'm like, what? It really panicked me. I really probably shouldn't, listen to my friend at that moment. But I'm kind of, at the time I didn't know. And then a couple days later, I get the receipt that he had inquired to talk to a divorce attorney. So that was like, wow, it's real. And I'm like, oh my God, we've never done this. I don't want to be like this. Like, this is real. It was very scary. And like,
And were there previous like divorce scares in your marriage? I mean, 20 years is a long time.
it's a long time. And there were about 10 years prior. He had moved out, about this, but pretty much the, same reasons why.
But no one filed for divorce back then.
No. No, in marriage, you say, okay, I'm gonna file for divorce, whatever. But we did separate for a few months. He got an apartment in Pearland and stayed with one of his friends for a while. And until, I was just like, I can't do this anymore, because it was 3 years of like kind of like no one was telling the truth. And so finally, when I found out the truth, it was kind of like, wow. So I was like, you know what? I can't live like this. And he begged me back, and, he did change his ways. That's when he said, I'm never drinking again. And you can be on my phone. I won't have codes on my phone and all this stuff,
So what was the truth? It sounds like he was having another affair or something back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was an affair 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So back to your current divorce filing, it was pretty aggressive. You were asking for uh more than 50% in your divorce filings. Could you speak to that?
Well, first of all, and I know I don't know, it might sound crazy, and people might like, well, right, whatever. I spoke to my lawyer one time. The day I had talked to her was on a Friday, and I sent the check out Saturday. You know what's so weird? My best friend, I told her I wrote the check out because I went to her. I was panicking that night. I'm like talking to the girl, my friends like, you get to do this. Not Kristen, not my best friend was telling me that, but I went to her house. I wrote the check, and I lost the check. It was at my house. Okay, I put it in an envelope. I packed my stuff. When I went to her house, the check wasn't there, and I even told him like, well, maybe this is a sign. Maybe God's telling me don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, she's like, well, here I'll loan you the money. You write me pay me back. I'm like, okay. Felt uneasy, but I did it. And when I talked to my lawyer, I'm telling you, one time, and I told her the situation, like he's having an affair, whatever, and like stuff's gone out of the house, and like it just scared me. Like, so it wasn't. I never asked for 80%. Like, where is that? I don't know where it would even say that. I didn't even find the divorce things until we were going to do mediation, like 1st of October. So that's when my lawyer sent me the actual, the divorce decree thing, whatever. And when I read that, like fraud and like what mental abuse or something, I'm like, what abuse?
Extreme cruelty is what was cited.
Why would she? Like he never hit me, never abused me. I don't know if she meaning like if that has something to do with an affair. Like that's not my words.
Okay, but what about the fraud? She pulled that? She just made that up,
No,
or
because I did. I know, Jason, made cash and stuff, and that's gone out of my house. So
okay, so he was paid in cash, and you just saying that he may have not claimed it all?
well, I don't know. I really honestly don't know to the extent, but I mean, he was pretty good with his books. But I just know, like, probably some, and I know that we had saved cash, and it was just gone. So
Okay. Okay, so after you filed for divorce, he was served at Comic-Con.
mhm.
Did you know he was gonna get served at Comic-Con?
I did not. And I wish I had this. I might can still get this girl, the actual first server girl, um, because like they tried. They're like, he was nowhere to live. We didn't know. No one knew where he was staying. No apartments. So that was their thing. Like I never told someone here do this, this, and that. So when that happened, I was like, oh my god! And when it came out the next day, I think it happened on Friday, and then like TMZ picked it up like the next day or two. I don't even know the exact day, like day or two. And we were like, what the heck? This cannot be. Every time I told my lawyer, like, why would this be posted public? She was like, it's not. It cannot be for 30 days. So we're thinking that that girl, the server girl, so that girl, that the server girl originally, she hired someone else, right? Because I guess he was out of town. This is what she told me after. And she said it happened that girl because that girl never finished it. She never got it notarized. She didn't get paid for the job. She just stopped talking to everyone. So I'm thinking that had been that girl sent that to TMZ. I mean, who else would have done it? People think it was
Okay.
me. It's like, what? I mean,
All
I
right.
do, you know what I'm saying? Because it makes me mad because like I've kept anything about him private. Like, it's embarrassing, to me anyway about an affair. So I've ever spoke about that. Never. I would never, I don't know.
Okay, so you said you kept things private, but the divorce filing was very public. It was not sealed.
Well, how would it be sealed?
You could request that it be sealed.
Well, how would I know? I need to request it. It's my
Okay.
first divorce. Like I'm like clueless when it comes to attorneys and stuff.
Okay. Fair enough. So after he got served at Comic-Con, did you reach out to him to try to contact him?
Yes, I did. I talked to I talked to Font a couple times, but I text Font and I said, please, please have Jason talk to me. I did not know this was going to happen. Please, I don't want it to end like this. Please talk to me. And he said, he would.
Uh-oh, I think we lost you.
How?
Hello?
Hello. I see you. Where are you?
Okay. All right, keep going.
Okay. So
Go
Yeah,
back to the, you trying to contact them.
yeah, I talked to, I text Font and I said, please, please relay this to Jason because I was desperate. I needed someone to actually say this to him, hear this. I'm like, and I left him a message and he said, I'll give it to Jason. And I asked him, did you give it to Jason? He's like, I did, but that's the far I can't make him call you or nothing. But so I'm like, and he never did.
Did he know you were gonna file for divorce?
Who, Font?
No, Jason.
I we had talked about that like right in July. Like he had told Jenna, tell your mom file for divorce. Like he just was like that was a word, that was a word. And I'm pretty sure Jenna. I know he would ask Jenna this summer what's going on with your mom, and they were best friends, him and Jenna. So I'm sure that probably was something that she might have told him.
Okay. All right. And I saw the prenup, and it was looking like you were getting 1,500 a month for 5 years and a $20,000 car. Did he make any changes to that to give you more or give
Nothing,
you less?
no. But see, like it's crazy because we're like, oh, okay. Well, okay, his retirement that's on the prenup. That's I'm the beneficiary of that. I'm the beneficiary. So, and the house, the credit school, like he made me partners even after the prenup. After we got married, me and him became partners. Then we actually sold the school to Randy, and we're all three on that contract. So that's like that. The prenup it's invalid because I became partners at Rising Sun, and the condo we sold that we bought a house and we upgraded another house, and so I don't know how that could even be like a problem. It's not a problem.
Okay. So let's go back to you guys reconciling. And you reconciled. And how was the reconciliation process?
Well, it was very slow, even though me and him are crazy about each other. We wanted to like just move back in, but he just didn't want people to think we're crazy, and he really wanted to change, because he really was ashamed. He was really ashamed and embarrassed that that he did this to me during this time with Shayla and with Drayden, and he just wanted to live with me, Shayla, and sorry, me, Jenna, and Drayden. He wanted to be a family. He just made one bad choice, and it haunted him in a really bad way. It was never going to be let up. So he felt really pressured. He felt ashamed. It hurt that he knew he'd hurt me so much. So when we started talking again, it was like we just know that we needed to be with it. With that, it's that drawing. When I hug him, we feel that like this energy. Like I don't know. It's just we knew we're belong with each other. We're soulmates, twin flames, and like we wanted to speed it up. When we like call the divorce shop, move back in with each other. And at first, we're like, no, what? Let's finish the divorce because I want him to know I'm not here for money, and I was going to take way less than anything. Okay, like I was getting really screwed. Okay, but I didn't care. I wanted him to know 100%. I didn't care if he dropped a Drayden. I wanted him to know I'm here with you because I love you. And it was so crazy that 6 weeks. Like he grew as a person in our relationship. I did too. It was amazing. Like this was so sad. At first I was so, why God did you let me have these 6 weeks with him? Like, because I know what it could have been. But then now I think like I'm glad, because like we had deep conversations. Deep we'd talk on the phone for like 2 hours at a time, like high school, like we first started dating. And I looked him in the face. I looked him in his eyes. I said, baby, I forgive you for the affair, and like, I really meant it. I really, in my eyes, I really truly forgave him 100%. And I'm thankful, that I had that time.
Okay. You said he grew as a person. How did he grow as a person, in your opinion?
He Well, I don't when we started talking again, I became, I got my voice back and I was telling him, like, I think you're narcissistic. He's like, no, no, no. And I think a lot of people don't tell Jason stuff because, he is intimidating. So maybe maybe we don't, he's going to hear us, but he does hear. I just realized that 6 weeks I could tell him something and actually would listen and then take the initiative to Google stuff and find stuff out. And he was doing a lot of soul searching and getting counseling. Like he hired this one girl, and he was about to have a week later, after he had scheduled his first consultation, and he was buying books, he was listening to audios. I was too. It's just crazy.
Books on what?
Vitamin cheat, like narcissistic and behaviors, like how to communicate. Like he would Google, like he would share me like links, and I would share him links. About how to communicate with each other. Don't shut the person down. It was. I'm just it was really huge. And Jenna knows, she was here. She saw him. It's like amazing. It was just amazing.
Okay, so y'all getting like this new Jason, but
Yeah.
I still have to ask the question, why didn't you call off the divorce formally?
Well, we were talking about it, like when we first started getting back together, I had wrote down stuff like where he said, "Well, what do you want to do? Well, let's just figure out this on paper." So we had discussed it, and it was wrote down, and it just was never like we talked about it, but it just never was like we put it on hold, and it was never like we weren't really thinking like, oh, well, we were thinking about communicating, building our relationship. That was our main focus. You know what I'm saying? Like just being friends again, and having fun with each other.
Okay, so speaking of fun, you guys did go dancing again, right?
Yeah.
How was that? How was what did you do leading up to going dancing? Like how was that day from like the time you woke up to the time you made it to dancing?
Well, Jason had spent the night that Thursday, I think like Wednesday and Thursday. So we had a really good night Thursday night, really, really good. And that morning it was great. He hung out, I don't know, maybe like 2 in the afternoon. We drank coffee, just hung out with Drayden. So he was gonna go home, and we are gonna go hang out this weekend because Drayden's Shayla's dad was getting Drayden that weekend. I'm nervous. Like, oh. So it was really great. And which one thing that bothers me, because I was getting ready. He went home and he was showing me pictures. He was haircut, and I didn't feel good because that night Jen and her friends were cooking on the stove, and they let the gas on the stove on, so it was smell like gas in the house. I had a bad headache, and I almost called it off. And I was like, he even told me, "Don't worry, I can hang." Jaden was sick. He's like, "Well, I'll come back and we'll hang out with Jaden." I'm like, I felt bad because he was really excited about this weekend. We're gonna go hang out with my friend Christy, and it was just like I felt, gosh, I don't want to. I was in a bad mood, had anxiety. I don't know why, and I should listen to my gut. But so anyway, he said, "Where do you want to go?" I'm like, "I don't care." He goes, "Let me take you shopping." I'm like, "No, babe, it's okay. I don't want to go shopping." So he goes, "Well, take me to a country bar." I'm like, "Okay." He's never been to a country bar, and
Okay.
okay. So he was Googling places. I said, "Well, here's that one place that me and Chrissy went one time." So okay, I said, "That's that. We'll do that." So he got a hotel, and we met at the hotel, and he was so excited to see me, like a little child, like so excited, like he hasn't seen me in a week. He just saw me a few hours before.
Okay.
So
All right. So you're going out dancing. Who booked the hotel?
he did,
Okay. So you guys
which
you
I was
go
supposed to do first, but I couldn't. I was too stressed out. I should have done it that night, but he did.
okay, so he books the hotel. You guys go out dancing. Uh he was drinking that night, correct?
Yes,
And you said you
Oh,
had fun. Go
we both
ahead.
we both were.
You both were drinking?
Yeah.
And Sky mentioned Ambien being involved. How long had he been on Ambien?
We both have been on Ambien. We would take back in the day when Tylenol PM came out. We would take Tylenol PM, uh, and it just didn't work no more. And so he got prescribed Ambien for me, and then I got prescribed Ambien. So we've taken it for maybe 10, even maybe even a few more years 12, I don't know, around 10 to 12 maybe years.
Okay, so go out dancing, y'all drinking. The People magazine interview said you closed down the bar. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and what time did the bar close in Texas? I
At
mean,
2. Yeah.
at 2. Okay, that's about the same time as me. So at 2 o'clock, close down the bar. You go back to the hotel room. You said you guys are having some deep conversations.
Yeah.
And then did he take Ambien before you went downstairs, or when did he take Ambien? Do you know?
So we were talking maybe like an hour. I don't know, I was sobering up, like for real. And he did have too much to drink because he when we drink, before, and we're not alcoholics or nothing, but when we go out, we're young drinking, like he would dance, we go hip hop and stuff, and he don't want to dance like that. But that night I realized that he had right before the bar closed that he had a little too much because he did get out there and dance with me hip hop. I'm like, but it was fun. It kind of reminded me of the old days. He's like, y'all got me lose my mind up in here.
Some DMX.
Yes, he loves that. So he did that. And so I don't know. So when we got back to the hotel, he looked like, had definitely had need to sober up. Like, I'm like, I thought he was gonna go to sleep. I'm like, babe, we talked, and a couple weeks before he passed, he started talking to me about, some trauma in his childhood and stuff that he's never confronted or nothing. And which was really, hurtful. He was getting it out in the open. And I thought it was good for him, like to actually, get help with that. But, it started making him realize stuff, and, stuff come back and all this. He just had he was really broken, which is sad. He was really a broken person. And he just was broken. And so we had a lot of deep conversations. And, he did take Ambien. I don't know how many he took, honestly. I just think it was, maybe like 4 or 5. I don't really know, honestly. I couldn't if my life depended on, I couldn't tell you. I'm thinking maybe 4, 5, 6 at most, because he's grabbed a few, like, I don't know. I can't tell you.
Okay. All
So,
right.
like, he looked like zoned in it. He just looked like he looked like he had just taken Ambien, like kind of zoned out. He was not crying. He just looked kind of like he needs to go to sleep. He needs to go to sleep. So then about 30 minutes after he took it, I wanted to sleep because I wanted to sleep with him. He was so insecure about snoring. So I'm like, I want to make sure I fall asleep before him because I want to lay with him. I want to sleep with him, right? Because he's like my baby. And so about 30 minutes after, I'm like, baby, you already took your email. I'm gonna take mine. He's like, okay. So I took mine, and and probably about, maybe 20, 30 minutes after I took mine, I was like, babe, I'm gonna get some snacks, and
So you went to go get snacks 20 minutes after you took yours.
I don't know, exactly timing
Yeah,
wise.
okay.
Maybe 20, 30 max, probably 20, because it does hit you really quick. And we didn't eat no food all day and drinking, so probably about 20, if probably maybe, yeah.
And what was he drinking at the club? Or
Vodka.
vodka? Okay. So he's drinking vodka, comes back to the room, takes some Ambien. Middle of the night, you go down after you take your Ambien to get snacks.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened after you obtained the snacks?
Well, I found out now, that I could not I didn't have my key, I guess. And I told a girl downstairs that I need to get my key. And I just found this out like recently. And, she said, well, what's your name? And I told her, and what's your husband's name? I told her Jason Frank, or Jason David Frank. Well, she didn't have no one by Jason Frank. And I'm like, well, I know this is my room number. I know the room number, and this is his name. And so I was telling that girl, I'm like, well, he's going to call me. He's going to come down here because he's waiting for me. He's going to come down here. I'm waiting on him. I knew he was come down there. So she's like, she wouldn't give me no information. She actually wanted to kick me out of the hotel because she thought I was not a person that should be there. So finally I come back. I'm begging her, please, come, let me back in. So finally she walks up there and she lets me in because she wanted to make sure Jason knows me. Because they said it was under David Frank. David Frank.
Oh.
I never would have ever thought that. I even asked him, his alias would be someone else that he's always used from hotels, but it wasn't that. And like, it was David, or David Frank. And so like she let me in, and then I thought he'd be sleeping on the bed, he wasn't. The bathroom was locked. And so I guess she called her manager, and they said, well, call the cops, call security. And so she waited. That was another like 20, 30 minutes. And like, so I wasn't aware of this, because I drank, and the Ambien kind of makes you have like amnesia. You don't really remember. And I should have been asleep, after that, like right then you need to go to sleep. You can't fight it because you don't remember. And so when they were telling me this, I'm like, what the hell, And so they waited that long, and then they got the security people, and they had to go back downstairs to get the master key. And then, like they tell me, your husband's gone. I'm like, no, 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 no. I really, like, I swear on my life, on Drayden's life, or Shayla's grave, like I thought I had the wrong room. I really, really did. Like I'm knowing that I thought I was banging on the wrong door, or I had the wrong room number. Honestly, I swear I thought I had the wrong room. I'm like, no, no, no. But it was him. Like it was him. Mm-mm. And like they take me downstairs and like put me in this office, whatever, and they want to see my phone. And I gave them my phone. Like I gave them my passwords. Here's unlocked, and they found that note, in his jacket, and said, well, why didn't you tell me you're getting divorced? I'm like, why would why would I have to tell you that I'm getting divorced? No, that's my husband for 20 years. I've been with this man for 23. And like, why would I even think to have to tell you that? And so they took my phone, and then they gave it back to me like a couple of days after, because they downloaded all my stuff, and they ruled me out, of any suspects. And that cop said, man, you love that man. I know that, with all your pictures and your texts and stuff. But he was gone, he was gone.
So what'd you do that night after he was gone? Did you go home? Did you
Give me
get
one
another
second. Give
room?
me 1 second, Henry.
Sure.
Sorry. Just 1 second.
What's up, Henry?
Hey Jenna, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
I sent you a message on Instagram.
Dude, I deleted Instagram. It's too much right now.
Oh, some people are plotting on you.
Really?
Yes.
What?
Probably ask you an uncomfortable question at a Comic-Con.
Ask what?
I have no idea. It's in a crazy group on Facebook that people sent me screenshots from.
Damn. Well, it's just too much drama, bro. Really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I just wish everybody the best, Okay. Even if they do put me on the spot, I don't really care.
Sorry, my makeup's off. Sorry. I just have base. Sorry.
All right. So
Okay.
after, go ahead. So after, where did you end up sleeping that night? Did you go home? Did you sleep in another room?
Like that night, that
Yes.
during the night, no, the cops kept me there for hours. Like I'm still like, what? When they put me down there, I'm like, no. I'm thinking like, what? Like it wasn't sinking in. Like it wasn't sinking in, and I was there, till like, I don't know. They brought me. I told them, please let me see my husband. Please, I need to see him. The detective said, no, you can't. You don't want to. And so I didn't have my phone, right? Because they took my phone. So I didn't have no one to come get me. And I couldn't drive. And he's like, you need someone. So I told them to contact my friend, her number. And she came and got me. And I told them, he told me, the detective says, well, I said, well, can I, when the corners get there, I want to see him. I want to say goodbye and I'll see him. And he's like, okay, that will happen. And then he came and got me like 6 or something. I don't know, 6:30. I don't know exactly, but he said, I said, where can I go see him? He's like, he's already gone. They took him. Like, I was so mad, you know, and like, I just couldn't believe it. So my friend came and they let me go back in the hotel room to gather my stuff. And that was like, I don't know, 7:38. I don't remember. And so she drove me home to this house. And then I had to tell Jenny. It's rough.
How did Jenna take it?
You probably don't need to be here, babe. Like, not good, of course, you know. Like, anyway, how do people, you can imagine, you know, telling your daughter that her dad is gone is terrible.
And did the cops tell you how it happened, or
Yes.
they said it was from a toilet? Did they divulge that?
A what?
They said he hung himself using a toilet.
A toilet?
Yeah, that's what was reported.
From a police report?
No, I didn't get the police report. I think it was some website.
No, that's false. Because I talked to the actual detective that was there that talked to me that night. He was really sweet with me, and he met me to get my phone back. And he told me, you know, and I didn't even have the guts because I thought it'd be a different way, even though. But I asked him like last month, you know, like what part of it was a shower, you know, so what part? So it was not the toilet.
Okay. And Sky said he tried to end his life 2 days prior. Can you speak on that? Is that true?
Yeah, that is true.
And you told her that?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was with the gun to the head or something or other?
Yeah.
Okay. So you leave the hotel, you come back to the home, and didn't you get served like shortly after?
Yes. Like on the I think it was that exact day, or maybe it was the next day. My days are blurry. It was probably that day. I'm thinking because everyone was. My dad was here, my mom, all my family came, my sister, my friend, like everyone was here. And the CPS call came to look at Drayden. So obviously someone called CPS, you know, and I got served at my house. So it was double whammies, you know, like what? But I do want to speak about the 2 days before, because I know people are like, well, why didn't you get him help? I can't. This man, you cannot, and everyone that's close to him, they know you cannot get Jason to do anything that he don't want to do. I have asked so many years for him to go to a place, just go to a place, you know, for like 30 days or 60 days, like some, you know, just get away and just be by yourself, get some counseling, get therapy, for all your traumas and your stuff. And he never would. He never would, because he was so embarrassed. His image was everything for him, you know, like he thought like he didn't want that to get out there. And he knows, I'm like, there has to be some place that is secret. So you couldn't, you know. And then he told me that night he was so embarrassed to tell me, but I'm like, babe, tell me. I'm ashamed. I'm like, please tell me. When he told me about the night 2 nights before, I'm like, babe, you got to get help. But I have texts to prove that. I'm like, but you got to get help. I mean, you need help, please. And he goes, as long as I have you, I won't. Right? He says that.
Okay.
So
Thank you for shedding light on that situation. So after you get home, you get served. Do you notify his other kids?
I get served. I don't know. What's your question?
When did you notify the other kids? I'm sorry.
Oh gosh. Like it's a blur. You got to understand. I'm like shocked. I'm devastated. I'm on the floor. I'm having to worry about Jenna. Like I was on my own. I don't know exactly even how this. I don't even know, honestly. Jenna, did you contact Sky or did I? Or
No, I did.
because I don't think I had her number. She's changing her numbers all the time.
No, yeah,
So-
I did. So it's false whenever she's saying that my mom contacted her.
Yeah, because I didn't even have her number. So Jenna contacted her.
Okay. All right. So she contacted her, and you never contacted Jacob, correct?
No.
And you never contacted Hunter.
Well, no one knew where Hunter was for like 3 years, you know, and no one knew his number. I mean, Sky, they had no clue. They tried to, and so we can't even get a hold of him. Finally, Sky You want to open that back door? Smoke gets out. So Sky, like a month after, like she texted me, we have Hunter, we found Hunter. Here's a number. You know, like he didn't want to talk to her, so she goes, maybe he'll talk to you, and he did for a few times, short and sweet. But he, you know, he did reach out to me, and he was just distraught. It was too stressful for him.
Okay. And what was the relationship like with them when they were like teenagers to adults? Like I saw Hunter in a video at your house, and then what happened?
Well, so they came here a few times, and like I just know like with well, Jacob was older. I think he was on his own by then. But like Hunter and Sky, you know, their mom, I guess they were homeless and like living in a car for a while and didn't have phone. We never had a phone number. They have phones for a long time. We didn't even know how to get a hold of them for many years. And it just got like really, it was really bad. I know that Hunter went to stay with someone else, and that she went to, I guess, foster care, and then a girl's home. It was so much poor communication. Like it was just, it was really bad. I mean, I feel bad for them. You know, I really do. I love Sky and Hunter. You know, Jacob. You know, we have our issues, but like always, I love those kids. You know.
Okay. And speaking of Jacob, Francis said that he threatened you, Jenna, his father.
Yeah.
When did that happen, and what triggered it? Do you know?
Well, this has been over for. It would happen every once in a while, like every couple years. He just would get mad. You know, I don't know. I don't know why he would get like he just at certain times they would hate their dad. You know, and talk so much stuff about them dad, like send bad, mean texts, and like, you know, that you don't support us, like, you know, you do so much for Jen and Shayla, like, and just like hatred, you know, and like Jason always paid child support, like never once. He actually overpaid. And so they gave him a credit for like a 6 months or something, like, and that was not our fault that Shauna didn't take care of them. Like he always paid 100%. So like, I don't know, like their own issues. I get it, you know, not growing up, their dad wasn't around, and they blame me, you know, of course, you know, and I'll take the blame because I don't want, you know, them to hate their dad, but it's not true. I never kept them from him, and never moved to Texas to be away from them. It wasn't like that at all.
Okay. And did y'all ever take any legal action against Jacob for the threats?
Uh, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay. And was Jason aware of the threats?
Yeah, he was aware of them. Yes. Yeah, it was very scary. Like, you know, I mean, like there's some things that Jacob would say, like, oh, can you open that back door a little bit? 'Cause it's so smoky. Like he would like threaten to like shoot up places, like with a machine gun, like come up and shoot up places. Like,
No.
no, yeah, it was kind of like, it was very scary, you know, like, I mean, I don't want to get him, I don't, you know, but yeah, it was not like help. He needed,
Okay.
he
And
needed,
is that why he wasn't invited to the funeral?
well, yeah. And plus, you know, he hates me, but I'll be okay if you hate me. That's still your dad, but yeah.
Hey, I want to say something really quick. I look terrible, so I don't want to be in the camera. But it's funny because so Sky's so Sky's grandma actually like kind of agreed. Like we all sat down and like kind of agreed on this, that like, you know, it would probably just be safer. And even Jacob texted me saying that like, you know what I'm saying? That like he, you know, he understands, that he even agreed to it. So it's funny that like Sky's trying to make it seem like, oh, this is just something new, but her own blood grandma and Jacob himself even said, oh, I understand. I started drinking very heavily the day that dad passed away, and he understands that he has problems. So it's just very funny that like, you know.
And plus he was like texting Jenna like crazy, like saying like, and I borrowed Jenna's phone for some reason, and I saw Jacob was texting. I played one message, and he's like, Tammy don't deserve nothing. We need to take her to court. Dad got a pre-up. She don't deserve nothing. We need to all stand together as kids and fight her. I'm like, what? You're thinking about money right now? Like, it was crazy. I was like, we don't need that drama, man. I want it to be low key, no drama.
Okay.
no dysfunction there, you know?
Okay, so when Sky arrived, you how was it when Sky arrived?
Uh,
How
you know,
was she treated?
I mean, she was good, you know, like, I mean, she drinks too, you know, and so there was, a couple times, but like I wasn't actually I couldn't be there for Jenna and Sky like I would want to because I was planning the funeral all by myself. And I was having to pay for stuff and get pictures and videos and songs and write eulogies, and that's a lot. I mean, I got help with my daughter because my sister helped me a lot, but that was a lot on me. It was like I didn't sleep for days. I didn't eat. I mean, just it was insane. So I felt like it was good. I even offered. I wanted her to stay longer, and like, no, it was. But I wanted that, and I was like, no, no, no. But it was good. I mean, she was fine. She didn't argue with me. She's very respectful to me, and like, in the house, like it was. It's just very pleasant. Like I used to take care of her when she was sick. Like it was nothing. Like there was no hatred, no animosity. It was. That's why all this stuff's happening now. I'm like, wow.
Okay, and she said a cousin arrived. Were you aware that she was gonna bring her cousin?
Okay, about the cousin. Like I did not understand it was Shauna's side. I didn't know it was her mom's side, or I would never let her stay in my house. When I found out, I'm like, you can have your cousin, that's cool. But like when I heard it was her side, Jason would be so like, "What are you doing, Tammy? Letting her in my house?" And I did not. I realized that I'm like, okay, Sky, she can't stay here. She needs to get a hotel. I don't feel comfortable, with the way Shauna is with Jason, all the craziness. Like he'd not want that. So I told her, don't, she can't stay here. She come to the funeral, hang out, whatever. I'm her spend the night, because I have stuff here. I don't know her. And there was problems that I found out she was taking stuff, his, his, his papers, the eulogy. I'm like, she took a big stack, which is weird. I don't know. She tried to sell them. I don't know. It was crazy, but she did come with her cousin, which is fine. And so she had that support.
Okay, and you had her stay at the hotel.
No, she actually stayed at my house.
Oh, she stayed at the house.
I told her, don't. She let her stay here.
Okay, all right. So, how was it at the wake? Was it open casket at the wake, like
No,
Francis said?
no. Oh, the wake. I'm sorry. The wake, yes. But only for a few people. I mean, I probably should let as many as should have. Not, it wasn't many, maybe 20 people, maybe Jenna, like, his black belts and, Kyoshi Herbster, Rising Sun Karate in East Coast. That's his, he's known him forever. That's part of Rising Sun. And so obviously he was invited and there's a few guys, our main guys and, just our family, not even my dad or my mom. They weren't, because that wasn't even happening. Like Jason would be so mad at me. That's why I knew his
He
wishes.
didn't want us or anybody.
Yeah, he's like he just wanted to be he wanted to be. He say let me be cremated, but that was I'm like, babe, you're not being cremated. So that's why we bought plots next to Shayla, and he wanted Eric to be flown down here, to be beside him, eventually. But okay, so the wake was open casket.
Okay, and at the wake, Francis was there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she was there. How about the funeral? How about you probably saw a video I did where I talked about the white dress. Can
Yeah.
you tell us the significance of the white dress if there's any?
So I know black. I should wear black, but see, people don't understand the way I mean, you don't understand how much detail I put into this funeral. I found the pictures, the big easels, all the four. I got that's called soulmate, red roses. I got like I wanted his. He was a master belt in karate, So the master colors are white, black, and red. So I had a sash over his casket with the red roses, white casket, the red sash. So I wore white and a black jacket. It's like I wanted to be in his colors. And also I had just bought that dress to go out with him. So I just felt like it was something like, there's nothing wrong with white. I mean, I wanted to match his casket and his colors and that dress I bought for him, I never could wear it.
Okay. Um, so at the funeral, how was Sky treated?
Uh, just like everyone else, I know like she has this thing about she wasn't speaking. The thing was about the speaking, there was only with all the people that we had there was only an hour. I even pushed it for like an hour and 20 minutes because there's so much. Our pastor, he buried Justin, he buried Casey, he buried Shayla, and now Jason. He knows Jason for all these years. That's our church. Drayden was dedicated with that church. And so he talks a lot. He tells stories and he talks a lot. So that was my main thing, letting Pastor do his thing. And I wanted to speak, and I know I wanted two people to speak that wasn't family. Someone could give, laughter, some kind of like respect, someone to give light. I don't want to be all sad. I kind of like, it's funny stories. So we only allowed three people to speak. And I invited Jenna up with me because she's my daughter. I wasn't thinking about having Sky. It wasn't my thought. I was so like, I don't remember that day. You don't understand. I don't remember when I watched that video of me talking. People probably think, oh, she's drinking. Or honestly, I wasn't wearing my glasses that day and I couldn't see. My eyes were swollen, so I wore sunglasses. So can you imagine not wearing sunglasses? I can't see the thing. So I had Jenna come up with me, and then she didn't write nothing. She just spoke. She just said a few things.
I didn't have like a whole speech.
It
Like,
wasn't
I'm gonna go
planned.
up there and talk. Like, no,
Yeah,
it
it
was just
wasn't-
like a quick little like
It wasn't
something.
planned.
I just wanted to bring up the energy a little bit because I feel like
Yeah,
funerals shouldn't be all like. It's just my dad wasn't like that, man,
I know.
and it's just like I don't know.
And it wasn't planned. Like I wrote mine, but she had nothing planned. It was kind of like just like me and her going up together. Like what I'm saying, like our family. I don't know if that sounds right, but that's the truth. That's how I felt at the time. It wasn't. I needed her by my side.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Um, so after the funeral, Sky kind of started making some allegations about being unfairly treated and declared war on you and Jenna.
Well,
What?
she stayed after the funeral, like for what, a week or 10
Like
days?
almost 2 weeks.
Almost 2 weeks. So
we were going to like this little crystal shops together. We got matching bracelets, matching candles. We were doing face masks together. She was throwing up drunk. I'm over there helping her. Like, no, it was like family
like
time.
that was news to me. Like
crazy.
even when she left, like I was talking to her, like so all that is complete like shock. She was not treated unfairly whatsoever.
Okay. All right. So what did you think when she came out with releasing her interview? Did you watch it?
Which one?
Well, I did the whole Sky Goes Rogue, where she released all the text messages.
Honestly, it stressed me out. I couldn't watch it because I only watched a few things and they're lies. They're like lies. Like I'm like, what? Like I need to write down what she said. I need to go through that because it's like someone's like just completely lying about you.
I
like
need to interview next. I need to interview next interview.
I know.
Okay. All right. Let me finish with you now. We almost done. We almost done. Okay. So you said it was lies upon lies, and I haven't really went through all the text message you sent me yet, but I'll get to them. What did you think about? You said you didn't watch mine, and then
Well, I did a little bit. It's too stressful. Honestly, it gives me anxiety.
I got a message during my live stream that you wanted to call in.
Oh yeah, yes, I did.
Okay,
like,
so you
Canvas
watched
face.
a little bit. What were you going to say that day?
Huh?
I said, what were you going to say that day? That hey, she's just lying.
I can't remember. I need to know what it was. I need to go look back at that for our next
Okay.
thing because like I was drinking, so I was fucking mad. I need to go through that and look. I need to watch that video before we do that next one.
Okay, so we've covered the divorce, we've covered the funeral, we've covered reconciliation. How do you feel about the people who say you must have said something to them to set them off? Me included at first. Me too. I alluded to, but I never said you did. I said it's possible.
It's like normally I didn't care about what people said before. Like, I wasn't on Instagram that much, like I never looked at other people's Instagrams, say nothing, like, but it, like, that's why I needed to do this interview because it kills my soul because I'm thinking, like, it really bothers me, like, deep in my heart because I'm thinking, like, really? Like, how could someone think I would ever say something that would make Jason want to hurt himself? Like, I've done nothing but help this man many times all these years. Like, it's just like, it's so sad that people can say that about you, Henry.
Okay.
No, it really is. It's
I
like,
mean, I was going through a divorce and I'm just pissed off and I'm like, she said something.
no,
But you said you saved him plenty of times
yes, plenty,
from taking his life.
yes,
And you also, it's also rumored that he was bipolar and suffered from, what was it, ADD?
yeah,
Is that correct?
that's correct.
Did he take any medication for being bipolar or ADD?
Yeah, he did. I mean, should I say the medicine?
I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. I mean, okay, all right. So that night, is it possible he was on his bipolar medication and Ambien and drinking alcohol?
Oh, yeah, for sure, for
For
sure.
sure. And did you see the video where I said basically how Ambien amps up suicide or self-deletion thoughts?
I know, that's insane. That's crazy.
Were you or him aware of that?
No, not at all.
And you've been taking it for years, at least 10
Yeah,
years.
but, like, he told me that 2 days before, he did say, "I can't drink wine and take Ambien," but it didn't dawn on me, that night because I never ever see, with my husband, like, you have to understand, like, he had thoughts like that, but I never would have ever thought he would do that with me in the room or by me or near me or, like, that's why I didn't think it was him because like, he wasn't in his right mind, obviously, because I could have found him, hanging, like, what, he wasn't thinking clearly. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way he would have done that to me.
Do you think it was planned or premeditated?
No, I don't. 100% no, because we were having a great weekend. We were getting along so great. He just was suffering so bad this past year with all the craziness and stuff, and I mean a lot of crazy stuff, and
Even like before, he would have like
oh,
notes out
before,
and
yeah, of
stuff, like
course,
notes and pictures. Like you would tell it's kind of more like this
like a
was
cry for
not.
help, or like I
Yeah.
never thought it would really, really do this. Like, never, ever.
Okay, so it came to you as a genuine shock. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, shock. I mean, I could even now. I'm thinking like, wow. I mean, I know he wasn't in his right mind. He would not. He wouldn't have. That's what I told Jenna. Like, he didn't mean it, man. He didn't mean this. Like, he could take it back. He totally would. But
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What is your most memorable moment of your husband? Was it like the first time you guys went skydiving? Because I know he introduced you to skydiving. What was your personal moment that you loved about him the most? Something that you shared, maybe that's not online.
yeah, I have to think about that because there's so many. I'll think of
Okay.
that question for next time.
Okay. What about you've probably watched some of my content.
Yes.
How has it been? Have as you saw like early on when I was probably didn't say the nicest of things early on. Why did you come to this platform to tell your story?
Well,
She trusts you, Henry.
I do. I feel like you are really, like, you're real. You're a real person, and you actually have uncovered the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have truth. You have Texas phones. You have, you're like a great PI. You're an investigator. Like, you are legit, dude. And so I would not trust anyone. Like I told you, I wouldn't. Like, I just feel like you are the person to get down to the truth.
Okay. What about Tony's interview? Did you watch it?
Yeah, but I feel bad for Tony. I know, I know he did come at you heavy, but, like,
be investigating too much.
gosh,
That's what he told me.
I know,
Damn, that was his.
I know he did come at
That
you
was
hard,
cold,
bro. He did.
He also said,
Dig, bro. You like to dig.
and I'm like, what's going on?
Well, and obviously he's drinking or something that night,
Sure.
That's weaker.
Yeah. But he gets defensive, and he just don't like Jason's name dragged through the mud, which I get it, and he really comes from a good place in his heart, but he did not communicate at that time. And I do feel bad for him and his daughter getting hate mails, and it's just sad, when he's hurting too,
Yeah, yeah. What about him saying you were the love of his life? Did you catch that?
Oh my God. Yes, but he does not mean it like that, bro. No, he said Jenna's love is
He's
like Scott.
Hispanic, bro.
He's
Like, Hispanics
Hispanic,
are like that.
like never, bro. No way, no. Dude. He was so young when I met him. No way. He loves me and our family.
All right. Well, what about any questions you have for me about things was there something I uncovered that you probably didn't know about, or that you may have been shocked that I uncovered?
Well, there's a lot that I was shocked. No, but like what was one thing
Stuff that I mentioned in YouTube. Stuff I mentioned in YouTube.
you're putting me on the spot right now.
If you say, hey, if you have nothing, then you have nothing. Say, hey, I knew everything.
But I gotta think about that question. You didn't ask me. You didn't tell me you're gonna ask that question. So those two things I will need to, because there is a lot that I was like, damn.
All right. Well, let me end this interview. All right. Let me end it. Thank you for coming on. Please stay right here.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.